The Death of Money, the Coming Collapse of the International Monetary System, presented by Ballew, Cherry, Lawson, and Zhu. Overview and Summary. Chapter 1, Prophecy, covered by Lawson. Chapter 2, The War Gods Face, Cherry. Chapter 3, The Runes of Market, Ballew. And finally, Chapter 4, China's New Financial Warlords, by Zhu. In The Death of Money, author James Rickard begins Chapter 1 covering the most tragic headline of U.S. history. The chapter Prophecy highlights the laws and research findings of pre and post of the tragic events surrounded 9/11. The question posed, what does 9/11 attack have to do with money and trading? And the answer, no one trades alone. It's famously known that the two planes that hit the target, the Twin Towers and the Pentagon, were United Airlines and American Airlines. Records uncovered the market evidence surrounding 9/11. According to records, bin Laden learned of September 5, 2001, that certain terror events in the United States would take place on September 11, 2001. Insider trading on advanced knowledge of the 9/11 plot was in full swing by September 6. September 6 and 7, option bet that United Airlines stock would fall, outnumbers bet it would rise by 12 to 1. September 8 and 9, exchanges were closed for the weekend. September 10, option bet that American Airlines stock would fall, outnumber bet it will rise by 6 to 1. He also stated that bin Laden was financially sophisticated and Al-Qaeda was financially backed by wealthy Saudis who traded stocks on a regular basis. Al-Qaeda familiarity with the workings of the New York Stock Exchange is well known. In an interview with a Pakistani journalist just weeks after the 9/11 attacks, bin Laden made gruesome comments praising the success of the 9/11, the losses on the Wall Street market reaching 16%, a number that has yet to occur since the opening of the market more than 230 years ago. He calculated a $640 billion of losses from stocks. Both American Airlines and United Airlines stock dropped between 40 to 43%. Now the question began, if there was such a knowledge of the attack and pattern scenes in the loss of stocks, why was there a failure to intercept? Rickard's focal point and emphasis of clear evidence was supported with research finding by U.S. econometrician Alan Poteshman and Swiss Finance Institute, who revealed that there was an unusually high level of put buying leading to the day of attack. This finding was consistent with informed investors having traded options in advance of the attacks. In the airline sector, they've detected suspicious trading activities in American Airlines and United Airlines. After a separate research conducted by the 9/11 Commission, they reported a disconnect between the option trading and terrorists. The justification reason was the signal's amplification, meaning no one can trade in isolation. Signal amplification defined in stock trading describes a situation where a small amount of illegal trading based on inside information lead to a much greater amount of legal trading based on the view that someone knows something I don't. So in a sense, all the vast majority of shares from both airlines were thought to be legitimate, and piggyback ride traders were betting the other traders knew of an information on the airline that they didn't. Project Prophecy was a project put in place to consider whether the terrorist community would identify such effort and possibly thwart the attack. The premise of the Central Intelligence Agency's Project Prophecy was to recognize insider behavior leading to the 9/11 attacks in capital markets to identify future terrorist attacks in advance. The CIA had no prior expertise in capital markets and option trading. Randy Toss, Directorate of Intelligence, was head of this project. Toss had understood the implication and wanted to see if there were similarities in the mind of a terrorist and the mind of a Wall Street trader. He was surprised to learn that both had a lot of mirror patterns. The 3-year project recruited top finance professional, stock exchange executive, hedge fund managers, Nobel Prize winners, floor traders, technologists, and system analysts. The close of the project in 2004 birthed a new intelligence branch, MARC-INT, as in Market Intelligence, designed to implement a system that actively monitored insider trading. Rickard, along with experts on task, saw several occurrences of insider trading from regular market players, which were directly reported to SEC as the intelligence branch had no legal enforcement powers. The group did detect a high signal from American Airlines on August 7, 2006, indicating a critically suspicious terrorist activity. A few days later, on August 10, the news reported a terrorist plot to blow up airplanes in London involving a transatlantic airline flying to the United States. This was an affirmation to the intelligence branch team involving Rickard that their signal engine generated a clear warning. No one trades in isolation. For every buyer, there is a seller who sees the transaction take place. Rickard's strong belief in detecting action prior to occurrence led him to research and implementation of counter-terrorism tool, a broad system that can and may be used for reference as a radar for the marketplace to detect incoming financial threats.